Welcome to Venture with Joe and Cody, where we take a deep dive into the minds of leaders and innovators making a real impact today. I'm Joe.
And I'm Cody. And we're here to bring you the raw stories, the successes, and the setbacks that these trailblazers have experienced in their journey to where they are today.
Every week, we sit down with a new guest who's ready to share their insight and advice on business, entrepreneurship, and making a difference in their community. From local community members to industry experts, you're going to get the unfiltered truth behind their success.
So whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a seasoned professional, or just curious about the business world, join us for a journey of learning and inspiration.
So let's grab a drink, settle in, and let's get started. This is Venture with Joe and Cody. Hello, everyone. We are back with another episode of Venture with Joe and Cody. That's Cody Wilhelm with Residential Mortgage. Hello, my guy. And
Yo, how you doing?
Good. I'm Joe Skipper. If you don't know,
you are
EXP Realty. Thinking about new name changes for the... First off, I just want to give everyone a heads up that Cody and I's planning for this episode was about 13 seconds long. So it will be random, and you're just going to have to deal with it. But what comes with that is more fun stuff from us, I think.
It's going to feel random, which
we're
is
not so
really
uptight good. That we know we're normally uptight when we have it all planned.
We're here for the people.
People helping
don't want
people.
Polished.
People helping people.
People
want the real us. But
yeah.
What was I just going to say then? Thinking of
you were
names.
saying heads up.
Thinking of names.
Yeah.
If you have a name for our company, drop it in the comments, send me a text, and have ideas. Because we have to change our name. As I told you, we can't have Realty in our name. So we have Skipper Realty Group. We cannot have Realty in the name. So there's simple options of SRG and blah, 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 and all sorts of things. But we are leaning to something. We're leaning towards something. And I don't know if I want to say it at this episode, but I do want to hear other people's opinions on what they think we should be called. I want something timeless. This is our opportunity to potentially change the name in the event that like we can kind of make it a more universal name that, you know, if we did build a team or build a bigger brand, we can kind of move away from our name being in it.
Okay. Yeah.
But we want something that's like marketable. I know we've talked about this before, but real estate agents are boring and their logos are boring and their name is boring. So
right.
We really want something that's kind of not to shoot for the moon, but kind of like a Nike-esque, like some sort of just like statement name that's clean, that can be worn on shirts, can be worn, you know, can be marketed as a brand versus something that's kind of a cheesy thing. So,
well,
if you got any suggestions, go for it. You don't have to tell me now, but
that tends to get more questions too. Hey, what is that? What brand is that?
Exactly. This little cute little lion here has had so many questions and so many people like, oh, I really like your lion logo. And yeah, it normally just builds that. So I think the company, I want the name to be that way too. Kind of not obscure, but kind of like, you know, this is it. So anyways, more to come on that. We might get sooner than later because I think we want to get our marketing. We have till July, I think, of next year, but it's like, might as well just start doing it. Like, what are we doing? Like, wait till the last second and then do it. So anyways, we want to get proactive on it and get our stuff.
You can't have real estate, realty, like that kind of.
If you're a team underneath a big brokerage, like we're underneath EXP Realty, they can have it because they're the, I forgot what it's called. It's some technical term of like a managing brokerage or something like that. They can have it, but we can't have it because it confuses the average person. They think that Skipper Realty Group is its own company. So it's very confusing. And I'm not being sarcastic at all. It's very confusing.
No, I'm confused. I don't know.
You don't want to work with me because you don't know if you're working for EXP Realty or if you're working for Skipper Realty Group. Like, it's very hard.
Right.
So,
yeah. Well, because I think most people choose their real estate agent based on the company, right? They're not it's not the individual in the service or anything like that.
No, we get a lot of like inquiries of like from just EXP Realty. Everyone's like, we want to work with EXP Realty, pick the agent. Yeah. And so, we get those random calls.
We don't care. We're just a family of EXP lovers.
So annoying. So we're changing it up, but that's good. It gives us an opportunity to do that. And I think we've got some cool names. Kids have already approved the initial thoughts of the name. So that's good.
Wow.
Normally, like my 13-year-old's like dumb, dumb, just constantly like everything, every suggestion.
Sure.
Like, that's stupid. And I'm like, okay. This one was like, he was like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So are you excited to hear it? Maybe I'll tell you off air. I can't tell people
I'm curious to know which direction you're going, because I can't. I mean, I have some thoughts in my head on where it could be going.
Yeah. There's lots of paths.
I don't know. Maybe you're going away from the lion, or maybe you're just.
That'd be a bad breakup.
The lion
bad breakup.
Group. Can you be group? Can you still be group?
You can be group. You can be. I think you can even be property. I think you can be something properties.
Homes, property.
Real estate is super confusing.
House.
But I don't know if I want to go like with a property. I don't necessarily want to associate the name with what it does. Some people say that's stupid. Some people, I'm like, I kind of like it unique. You know, that it can be kind of worn, a brand that's worn, a brand that's like you're proud of, and people can wear. And people ask, oh, what's this company? And you're like, oh, this is who it is. So
right. Well, and then that way, when it takes off and turns into this big old giant, like Nike, you can sell it, and it's not like why would they want to have, Realty?
Yeah, no one wants to skip a Realty
homes,
group,
No, which, I mean, somebody does.
Someone does.
And this is a national thing. This is not is this an Oregon thing, or is this
Oregon, I believe.
Oregon specific.
Oregon. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if any of your buddies in Washington will have to do it, but I think Oregon specific for now. So
okay.
Yeah. So anyways, it's not a big deal. I just think it provides a good opportunity for us. So if you have any suggestions, anyone, just throw them out there. I probably will reject all of them, but it's worth a shot to just throw them out there. Just be prepared for me to say no or hard pass. And then if it gets by me, it's got to get through Christina, which is even harder than me. Then it's got to get through even the worst, the two kids. So you're fighting an uphill battle if you.
I'm not even going to share an option.
Maybe I'll do like $100, like $100 for someone who wins it.
Oh, there you go.
That'd be kind of cool,
Wait, for somebody that guesses it correctly,
that actually just wins the name, like that gets me a name that's like, this is it.
It makes it through all the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
All right.
Or a share in the future stock of the large company that we're building.
True. Yeah. Millionaires in
when we sell it for $100 million, you get $1 million. So
you get a hat.
We'll see. Well, since we're winging it, what's the deal, man? Another thing I'm thinking of, I think I've talked about office space and making our guest room an office space, and I really want to like trick it out really nicely. So we're taking those steps too, hiring a designer to kind of come and take a look and say, make this like a real cool like podcast office.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it though. I was like, a lot of the things that I see on Pinterest, and everyone comment, if you're listening, comment on this stuff, because I would love to hear your thoughts. But I was like, they have a lot of these ones that are just set up for like 2 chairs and things like that. And I was like, that's great. And I was like, would Cody come down to my house and sit in my guest room and sit and talk weekly to each other? I just thought it was funny when they structure the rooms like that. It's normally like, oh, someone comes in and you sit down and blah, blah, which is totally fine. But I just thought
I'd come down there.
It's like Cody's like, hey guys, what's for lunch? Let's we grab a chair real fast, and then we'll go get some food. So which would actually be fun. But
I'd love it.
Anyways,
and then the weather turns, and we can play some golf afterwards. I mean,
that's true. Yeah. Maybe we make a thing of this.
I think so.
So that's it in my life, man. The work life is picking up. Well, it's always picking up, and that's a good thing. It's just the market's weird. If we've talked about this. Agents talk about it, and currently I just talked to one this morning that's like, the market is weird. Like, it's like,
yes.
And I hate like not having answers for people, but I could make something up and tell you the market is X for this. Like, it's amazing for buyers, it's amazing for sellers, but man, it's just a funky market. Are you seeing the same stuff?
Yes. I'm seeing that what feels like things are slowly becoming a little bit more normal, as much as they're not. They're still weird, but it feels like there's more of I don't know. There's becoming more of an understanding and acceptance of homes sitting on the market for longer. I don't feel like it's as much of like a red flag. Now I feel like it's kind of being viewed like, all right, well, hey, maybe we got some advantage because that house has been on the market for 65 days.
For sure.
So it's kind of being looked at, I think, as less of a concern. Why is it sitting there? And it's more of
you're right.
opportunity. And I don't know from the seller's standpoint, but I would think that there's probably slowly becoming more of an adjustment to, all right, our house might be on the market for 30, 60, 90 days, whatever, 100 days. I don't know, but it feels like there's more of a norm. I think there's more of a norm with the interest rate side of things. We probably react more than what the average person does, but I'm noticing more and more people are ready. They've done a little bit of research. They've done the mortgage calculators that are usually not great because they default to 20%, but they are seeing the rate, they're seeing the payment, they're kind of adjusting to it. I'm talking to more people now that are saying, I don't want to get rid of my 2.875 rate, but we just don't like this house anymore. It's just not the right fit. Like, whatever. The neighbors, the yard, the development that they were in is now that much bigger. Whatever it is, I think that there's becoming more of a norm to it all rather than I got this deal on this house or this rate that is, I can't let go of it.
Yeah.
To where now it's starting to feel like, yeah, it sucks, but we're ready. We're more ready to find something different than we are the pain of like, oh, our lower payment and our rate. I think we're probably getting into that time too, where, you look at all the COVID purchasing, 20, 21, 22, we're starting to creep into where people have had time in those houses for a few years to realize it's not what we thought it was, or it worked good for those couple years, but then we've had another kid, or our kids are all gone now. Like, there's just life. A lot of life happens in a matter of a couple years. So I think it's slowly shifting, and people are getting tired of waiting. And, not that it's like this booming market, but I mean, you've seen it. We just had one recently where there's multiple offers on houses, and that seems to be not an uncommon thing now, which seems weird because that seems to be the case in like a booming market where everybody's buying, and there's millions of buyers out there that are shopping in a small area, and it feels like that's still the case, even though it's not a crazy market right now. So
yeah, it's you are like we read each other's minds with this stuff, and it sounds redundant, but it was two things that I wanted to say, and you kind of covered one of them. Is, you were saying that people are in the 2.75% rate, 3% rate. Back in COVID, they bought. What we're experiencing as selling agents on that note is that those buyers at 2.75% were bidding 50, 60, 70, 100, 150, even more than what the house was worth at the time because of the rate. And so now what we're seeing when rates are up, those sellers have to sell. They don't want to leave the 2.75, but they've got to sell because of size, divorce, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now they're wanting a price that reflects more than what they paid, but it's not that case. So we're starting to see that overinflated pricing hurt sellers coming into the market now that bought during COVID, because they're actually they're either selling it for what they bought it for or maybe a little bit less. There's like the caveat to that is that they paid more than what it was, the market value. I guess you could argue the market value was what it was, so they paid market value back then. But because those things aren't inflated anymore, buyers are coming in. And so what we're seeing with sellers is like, I need to make more than what I paid for it. It's like, well, that's not in the cards anymore,
Right.
And so we're seeing a lot of struggle with sellers, particularly in this time, that are like, shoot, like I paid 70,000 over asking and I need to sell it 3 years later, and I need to make 70,000 over, or that 70,000 over asking is now that they want more than that. And it's sometimes the case, but sometimes it's like you have to actually offer a lesser selling price so than what you bought it for.
It's tough because we've seen nothing but appreciating homes since what, 11, 12
for sure.
Maybe is when everything kind of started to, so you had a 10, 12 year, 13 year run.
Oh, for sure. And I'm not saying that it's for every house, but we are seeing, especially those people that put, 2% down. And so, they're ultimately selling for a similar price than what they bought it for. Obviously, you paid money down, so you have some profit. But once you come out with the closing costs and all that stuff, it just ends up being kind of a bummer to a lot of people. And I think they think that, I paid $100,000 over asking. So 7 years from now or 6 years, we've been in the house 6 years, it's got to be worth 150, 200,000 over asking. It's like, no, maybe it's worth 105 over asking, or 5 over what you paid for it. So yeah, it's overall still appreciating, but we are seeing those individuals that are like, shoot, I got to take a hit on this, to get out. So,
well, we've seen that on our house, because we bought our house in 21. So it was like right in the middle of all of it, of all the chaos. And, you get these alerts from Redfin and Zillow and places like, hey, here's what your new home value is. And so just watching that over the years, I want to say we bought it in 21, and I don't think it really showed, according to their algorithms, that it appreciated for like 3 years. It was pretty much like there was points where it was a little below what we paid for it, and then it would be up a little bit. We're just now getting to the point where it's actually appreciated some. And we're what, 5 years, almost 5 years into owning it. So I think there is a, just like you ride out the lows or ride out the highs, whatever you're needing to do. And eventually it's going to get back to a point where it's moving along again. But yeah, there's definitely, we've seen that for sure. And I've ran into more people over the last couple of years that are in that boat and they're needing to sell. And to your point, exactly, by the time everything's taken out with closing costs and everything, they're actually losing some money.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, and we knew it was going to happen. It's just unfortunate to see it in real life. We knew that was, with people overbidding by that much money just because they could afford it at that time. It did. I don't know if this is the right term. Did it artificially inflate the market? I don't know if that's artificially is the right term.
I think so.
But it was like because you would list a house at what the agents would come in listing the house at what market value was. And then people would come in and say, I'm paying you 50,000 more, 80,000 more. So your home has appreciated, but you just paid that's a ton of money before.
Yeah.
And so now you're taking that hit because you decided to pay that. And I'm not knocking people for doing it at all. It's just is what it is with that. And so I don't know if like you agree the proper term is artificial, but it was like, it wasn't in the sense that everyone was doing it. So the market was dictating that, but it wasn't based on, it was based on your interest rate. It wasn't based on that house is worth it. It was only worth it because my interest rate was that versus like, that was worth it. If that makes sense. Are we diving too
I think
deep
it was,
into it?
artificial
weird,
rates.
That
created that.
Absolutely. And they were artificial rates. They were fake rates. There was the government saying, whatever, like, let's just lower. And I'm not saying they were wrong to do it. It's just when they put that into place, now we're seeing the ramifications of some of the sellers. And the ones we deal with, at least thankfully right now, are the ones that, they generally have the income to figure it out and make the deal. And which leads to my next point is the market is never going to be good for both buyers and sellers at the same time. So anyone that's waiting for that perfect world of like, okay, I sold for high and I'm buying low, it's just not in the cards. Like, and so what we're seeing with those people that maybe are taking a little bit of a hit on the sale of their home are able to kind of make up for that in the purchase of the other home. So it may not be great for you as a seller, but we are seeing better buyer activity, and closing cost concessions and price reductions and sellers willing to work. So just to let everyone know, you're never going to have a good seller's market and a good buyer's market at the exact same time. It will always be one or the other. It is a seesaw, and that seesaw is very rarely sitting at the same point.
Yeah.
And so what we're seeing with that is, I guess I wanted to kind of put that out there to people to say, don't get discouraged if you're a seller and you're not getting exactly what you wanted out of it. As a buyer, you can get a lot more than you think. And so, and for buyers, if you're in that market, you can get good rates. So it's just, anyways, I don't know where I'm going with that, but
no, I think it's always a good point to be made too, because depending on your situation, if you're only selling or you're only buying, you might only get one of the benefits. If you're selling and buying at the same time, like you said, you might take a hit on one and you're going to gain on the other. So it's going to net out probably pretty even, but it's hard because I think a lot of people, that the buying or selling of a home is not necessarily something, okay, we've planned this out for 3 years and we've timed it just right. It's usually there's a life situation that's come up. You've got a better job. You have to move. You got kids now or whatever it is. And it's like, well, we just need to buy in this market. And maybe this isn't the perfect market. It's like buying a car during COVID, like you buy at the wrong time and then you got to sell it at the wrong time. And I mean, unless you can just ride it out for another handful of years, which who knows what that's even going to look like then. It's just the investment side of it. And I think that's where sometimes things get lost, is that it is a home, and it obviously that's the main goal with it, but it is also an investment. So if you feel like you bought it at the wrong time, just like any investment, if you ride it out, you're going to come out on top. It's just, can you ride it out for
sure
5 years? Because if you try to sell it again next year, maybe you're not going to make anything, but you ride through the little dips and you're probably going to be fine and come out positive and happy. But
and that's
not always that easy.
You're just, it's not like Yeah, buying low, selling high, all that stuff. I think you can kind of get intertwined with the stock market and thinking in those sort of thinking process. And
Yeah.
I just think like, with real estate, if you're selling high, if you're selling high, you're generally buying high. If you're selling
Yeah.
low, you're generally buying low too. So there's pros and cons to the real estate market. But you're right. Like you could ride it out like a stock market, and if you had the funds to wait till the market lowers, like I think it's a good time to buy right now. I think you have more opportunity in the market right now to buy. Sellers still have opportunity. It's just going to be different, depending on where you're at. So,
Yeah.
anyways, but there's less pent up tension in the market. I think down to what you were saying, like the normalcy. There's not, no one feels, it doesn't feel like people, it may not be exciting. Like it's not an exciting market, but they're just hanging out. I don't think anyone's waiting on the edge of their seat. Like, man, if rates hit 5.75, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go nuts.
Yeah.
I think that people realize the rates. They're more hesitant for sure. But I also don't think there's a stress or a tension built up in the market of like, gosh, man, if the rates went down, I'm just going to go nuts.
Right.
It would maybe naturally happen a little bit. If you get to the 5.5s, you're probably going to have a lot more buyers come in. But I think just personally, I can say, and maybe you can too, is it's just more normal. Like everyone's just kind of normal.
I think so, which is potentially going to put us in a situation over the next, I don't know, however long it takes to get there. But when we do get to that 5.5 range, because I think that's kind of the barrier, the beginning of everybody's going to start to buy more, right? When we do get there, because we're starting to feel like things are normal-ish, more normal, everybody's getting adjusted to everything, that it's going to be a very busy time, I think, when we do see, when this war ends over in Iran. I think we're going to see a lot of movement. It might be a little delayed, based on inflation and what those numbers look like. Does that kind of prolong things a little bit? But I think once we do start to get there, the market is primed, and it's priming right now for a busy, busy time, and not just a spring, summer busy, but overall, we've had a lot of pent up people that are waiting, and now it's starting to get normal enough. And
they're still there.
Years go by. They're still there. They're still waiting.
They're just not as like kind of, I think we were on the edge of our seat week to week thinking, this could happen. And wait till the Fed say something. Wait till this next Fed meeting. And I think people are like, F it. I'm just going to, if it looks good, time to buy or sell, this is it. And that's good. I think that's healthy.
I think so too.
So,
yeah. Because it should be about your situation, not the market. Because you're going to wait forever. It's never going to feel like the right time because prices are too high, rates are too high.
Absolutely.
There's too many people. We have to jump quickly. It's too competitive, whatever. Like there's so many reasons why you could convince yourself not to, but that's with all big financial decisions. It's hard because it's scary and it's unknown, but that's just, you could rest
what it is, man. Got to work with a good team that like gets you kind of set up for the time that you need it and the pricing and stuff that you need it. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we were going to go over stuff, but I feel like we're coming up on time.
Well, I have one in my head that kind of goes along with this. Okay, so one of the questions that we were going to talk about was the HGTV kind of persona, what we've seen over the last handful of years. I don't know if it's still as popular as it was, but do you run into people that, especially when you're showing them houses or maybe even listing houses, where HGTV has completely like screwed their overall mindset on buying a house, renovating a house, flipping houses, to where they make it look very sexy and fun and easy and profitable. Do you run into people still that are kind of like that's their thing?
No, not as much. But man, that industry or that like TV series and that stuff has literally ruined people, especially flippers and things like that, because it's always funny. You go to those things and they're in California and they're like, oh, we got to remodel this kitchen. We're going to remodel it for $8,000. I'm like, no, you're not. And no normal person is ever going to be able to remodel a kitchen for $8,000. And, it's just, it's very deceiving. And people don't know the background of that. Of those people are, one, getting produced. Two, contractors are getting, probably taking a hit or not. They're giving a discount so that they get marketed on TV. All the stuff of like, oh, this whole cabinetry kit for the entire kitchen was $3,000. I'm like, no, it wasn't. Not the average person. So I haven't experienced it lately. Maybe it's because I'm old and I don't care anymore about HGTV. But I don't see it, but I did remember a lot of people, a lot of people questioned it. Like, hey, what is a bathroom remodel? Like, what is a kitchen remodel? I looked at HGTV or I watched this show, and a lot of them were skeptical, but they were like, they did a bathroom remodel for like $3,000. Is that possible? I'm like,
Right.
not, I could do it for $3,000, but it's not going to look like it's not
Right.
going to look like you want. That's for sure. It shows your recording stopped, Cody. Is he back? Let's see.
I'm here.
You're there. Why is your
Yeah.
recording stopping? Stop it.
I don't know. I had an alarm that went off. I didn't know
nice.
that would stop the recording.
Nice. No, I don't think it's affected us directly. It probably did when it was super hot. And maybe I'm just not in that market where it's super hot and people care. It's like, so I haven't noticed it, but it is fake. So anyone that's paying attention, Selling Sunset, fake. Everyone's like, have you watched Selling Sunset? I'm like, no, it's not real. Like, it's just not real. It might be real for them, but it's definitely not real estate, real life.
Yeah.
One thing, let me just go before we go. It bothers me. What I see for the agents out there or anyone that's like with the AI and worried about AI and all this stuff, the clickbait that I see more and more from real estate agents is just, it bugs me now because it is totally like, one of them was like, if agents are going to, like 8 million, billion, gazillion agents are going to leave the market in the next 5 years. And it's because they don't know how to use AI. They use it like write my email. So, which is fine. Like, you can dig into the AI, but how he said that you should use AI, and if you're not doing it, you're just not behind. He's like, you should be putting your sales contract in AI and have it spit out a summary of the contract. I'm like, okay, like that. Okay.
Right.
That's what your insight is to help agents survive in this industry, that you upload a PDF into ChatGPT and have it summarize it. That's your like magical information.
That's the thing.
I just think I'm like, it is just sad to see that like agents come in just trying to recruit more agents into their team. I know that's what it is try to come with me and I'll show you how to do this hard stuff.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know. It bugs me. I have nothing else to say besides that it just bugs me seeing this now, because they're taking advantage of AIs and making agents that are insecure say that, oh, this is what you need. This is who you need.
Right.
This is who you should follow. Because they know how to upload a PDF into ChatGPT, and that's what's going to separate the good agents from the bad agents. And I'm like, that
is a funny thing that you bring that up, because I've been thinking this more recently, especially as more and more people are using AI for just basic life things, right? Like asking it questions and stuff.
And that's totally fine, by the way.
I
if you're an agent doing that, and like if anyone says, "Oh, you're going to be gone," it's like, that's just normal now. That's like Googling,
right.
like you just AI. So don't knock people for agents for if that's all they do. Like, anyways, go ahead.
I wonder though, for something like that, especially when it's used as a sales tool, how many people are actually going to absorb less information because AI is doing the work?
Yeah.
And it's like, because if you put it in there and it spits out an email and it looks nice, and you can send this over and say, hey, here's a summary of this.
Totally.
You still, you probably know it because you wrote it up. But if you went out and wrote that email, you're bullet pointing those things, and then they come back to you and ask, you're gonna be like, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at that and see.
For sure.
I don't really remember, But
and AI is not perfect. And it will, and you can get into a lot of trouble. And I think agents need to be careful with that. It's good to pump it out, give it a summary, but you need to look at that contract and make sure that it's right, because they mess up and they don't scan the whole document, or they don't scan it how you want, But you're right. Like, I think people are going to get in a lot of trouble. I think agents will get into a lot of trouble when clients find out that, wait, you just pumped it into AI and gave me all this advice.
Yeah.
And I didn't use your expertise. I didn't use anything. And now I got screwed on this house, or, it could really hurt people, I think. It'll all change. It'll all, like, there'll be rules and stuff put in place, but right now it's the wild, wild west. You can do whatever you want. And so, that's an interesting topic, but yeah.
Yeah. And I think that more and more too, as people start to use it, because it spits out a very similar like style of response, that people are going to have to start changing that more and more, because now I start to see stuff, whether it's an email or a post or something. And I'm like, you can tell that was
ChatGPT.
Yes. The way that it was all worded, the way it was laid out with the icons and everything. I'm like, that was a total AI thing.
I just had a recent sale that I was like telling Christina, we had like a whole sale went through, and it was like, I was like, look at this agent's emails. They're all ChatGPT, like every single one. She did not write a single thing in there.
Wow.
It was just funny. And it went fine, but it was just so funny because
Sure.
you could tell. I was like, that is not
Yeah.
an agent. That's not someone talking. That is ChatGPT
Right.
talking to me. So
Yeah, once you use it enough, you start to see the way that it responds and gives you feedback and everything. And I
For
actually
sure.
saw this on it was a YouTube video, and it was like somebody talking about, I had looked to see, random thing, if coffee and creatine, if like if you could mix them
Put
together,
'em
if there was
together,
any
yeah.
type of issues, right? So I watched this video, and every response from the person who created the video, I could tell was just an AI response.
Yeah.
It's probably just one of those bots that you can attach to
For
it, and it's
sure.
just going to answer whatever question. But
For sure.
it's funny as you start to, I guess the people that don't use it very much aren't going to know, but the people that start to use AI more and more, you
Yeah.
can just start to catch on to some of that stuff.
Totally.
And then it makes you go, well, I mean, good for you, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I want a response from the actual person.
For sure. For sure. Okay. Well, we've covered it, man. We were going to go into other
did it.
random stuff, but we did it.
Now we have
We just
34
blabbed
other
away.
topics for later.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. We got the whole year ahead of us.
Yeah, right?
If you guys haven't already, like and subscribe to our stuff. Head to our YouTube pages. Head to I want to say Spotify.
Spotify.
Maybe
Is that your new company?
that's our new brand.
Spotify?
Yeah, it has to have been taken.
That
right?
could cover a variety
I
of
know.
industries.
We could write a book on going potty with kids. So like,
Could be a weed store, could be a bathroom.
no, that's true. So you're thinking Potify. I was thinking Potify, like podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could.
But Potify, we could do that too.
It could be a variety of industries. That's what you wanted, right?
Man. Okay, man. Well, till next time. It was good to see you, and we'll chat with you
You as
later.
well. All right, sounds good, man. See ya.